Okay, folks, we are back here in the music room with Tom Faulkner. Yeah. We just heard some great music from you. Like I said, you don't have a bad song, which is a great thing because that's a bonus for all of us who have to listen to it.
Thank you.
Well, we've known you for a while, and I guess what we really kind of got to know you when you came here to record for Michael Hearn's Barn Dance. You had some music you had to record?
Oh, that's right.
I think that's what kind
That
of...
is absolutely right. During COVID, that's right. It was during COVID and the barn dance. Nobody could... The barn dance was virtual.
Right. Yeah.
And you all were kind enough to say, why don't you... I had 3 new songs and we came down here and recorded.
Yeah.
That was a fun
And,
night.
before that, I don't know if you know this or not, but Randy was just chomping at the bit to get you in here, and he didn't know what in the world he'd have to do to get you in here, so that was great. It worked perfect. It took COVID to get you here, but we got you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I'm glad we did.
Thank you. Me too.
I know that you had mentioned that you were raised in Louisiana, correct?
No, I was raised in Dallas, born in Louisiana, moved here probably, I think I was 3 or 4.
Uh-huh.
And remember enough of Louisiana to have it really stick,
Yeah.
And always we would go back and just loved it. But grew up in Dallas. And,
okay.
Yeah.
And so while in Dallas, what piqued your interest in playing music and singing and writing songs?
Probably the same as most people my age, the Beatles.
Yeah.
They came out when I was 12, and I went and saw them live. And I went,
oh, you're lucky.
I want to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, I want to do that. So I really set out to do it, and my parents kind of rolled their eyes, but I'd been singing since, just all the time since I was 3.
Oh, wow.
And just always singing, and heard music. And in every movie we would go to, I would say, can we go buy the record? And my parents would go, why? And I go, because, why not?
It's great music.
There were these great scores, and my association, and my parents didn't understand it, and I didn't understand it. I thought everybody went and bought a record after they saw a movie.
Yeah.
But what moved me deeply was the music of kind of these masterpiece films, Lawrence of Arabia and stuff like that. A lot of symphonic films that it was just captured.
So did your parents finally catch on and say, hey, we might have something here?
So they were not in favor of music. Just being honest, they wanted me to be a lawyer or doctor or something,
right?
That would make a living, because certainly music could not. And one of the deals that they made with me, strangely, when I went off to I went to a good school up east in Virginia, and they said, well, you need to sell your electric guitar. You can't take your electric guitar with you. You can take an acoustic, but they didn't want me to be in a band because we were a really successful band in high school. And they went, so I went, okay. So I just went up there and bought an electric guitar. It's not that hard, Yeah, I didn't sign a
Yeah, what high school in Dallas did you go to?
I went to Highland Park.
All right, okay.
Yeah. And went to Washington University in Virginia. It's a small school, and it's a real business-oriented school, and I probably shouldn't have gone. But I'm glad I did, because it was a real high pressure, and I needed kind of that, discipline.
Well, and musicians don't make the best financial decisions all the time because they're more focused on the art, so that's good that you had both.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that that's really true, but
well,
I still make lousy decisions.
Well, you don't have a big excuse for it because you did go to school for it, but
right. No,
so were you able to? Have you been able to play music and make money throughout your life, or did you have to supplement with a 9-to-5 Monday through Friday job?
So I graduated from college and went to work for my dad, and he sold insurance. Mm-hmm. Commercial property casualty, and I thought it was interesting, but I just was going crazy because I just wanted to play music. Mm-hmm. I put together a band in college, and we literally would travel from New York City to Athens, Georgia every weekend. We were in super high demand.
Oh, wow.
And so it was my passion and my love, and it just never left. So I put together a band on the side that my dad didn't know about. 2.5 years working in, and I wound up making more money on Sunday and Monday night than I would selling insurance. And finally I said, we need to, I walked in and said, I just need to go do music. And he just said, this is a terrible mistake. And shortly thereafter, our band was signed with United Artists, and we moved to Hollywood. And we're certain that it was a great band, and we were certain that it would take off and really go places and everything. It was the same year that Christopher Cross signed, and we knew each other well and would listen to each other and similar type stuff. We had great vocals and great guitar playing, great lead guitar player. And so we got there and everything just really collapsed. We got stuck in a contract. We signed with United Artists Publishing and got stuck with an independent production contract, which we didn't know at the time that could just clobber you, and it did. I mean, we signed with a group that they went bankrupt, and we had already performed out there, and all these labels wanted us, but they couldn't sign us because we were signed to them.
Right.
So we came back, and I was just super depressed, and I thought, this is not happening.
No.
I mean, the record labels wouldn't pick up the phone, and a friend said, "You want to write a jingle?" I said, "No, I hate them." I just absolutely do not want to write a jingle. And he said, "Why don't you write a jingle like a song, like your songs?" And I said, "Well, I don't even think that's possible." And he said, "Well, why don't you just try?" And he said, "I'll pay you $1,000. And I wasn't making a lot of money at the time, and I went, $1,000 in '79? That's like, okay. And so I did, and I wrote a jingle for Valley View Mall here, and then the ad next week said, "Well, can you write one for the Foot Locker?" And I went, wow. And all of a sudden I thought, gee, I could, and I enjoyed, I remember driving home and I heard it, and it sounded great on the radio. And I thought, and it didn't sound really like a jingle, and I thought I could do this. So I really went head first into it because I knew that I had to do something. And living in my parents' garage was just not a great thing.
No.
So I took off. I mean, I borrowed $1,000 from my dad, and I paid him back in 6 months. I put together a company, and I started writing, and it just took off. I mean, it really took off. And I realized it, and all of a sudden my confidence soared, and I realized that I could write a lot of different types of music. Mm-hmm. And it's funny, during that period, when I came home from Hollywood, they said, "We want you to take an aptitude test." If you know what that is.
Yep.
You know what aptitude tests are?
Oh, yeah, we had to take them at school.
Okay, yeah. So, but this was I do 3 days of aptitude testing.
Oh,
and they
wow.
just like run you through the ringer. Yeah. And so they came out, much to my parents' chagrin, they said, "Well, he's in the top 99.9 percentile of people for music." And so they hated that. And but the aptitude company said, "Have you ever considered," they said, "So we saw something else that was strange because you scored real high in visual, and it's always one or the other. And so we're going to recommend that you consider, have you ever thought about writing music for movies?" Mm-hmm. Go back to 4 years old.
Right.
And just what's innate. So I wrote jingles, and somebody said, "Can you write symphony?" Well, I can't read or write a note of music to this day. Mm-hmm. But I could hear full symphony. I mean, completely hear full symphony. And fast forward to 1982, and I wrote a commercial for M-Bank at the time, and I submitted it for what's called a Clio, and that's the Academy Awards of Advertising in New York. Mm-hmm. And it beat McDonald's and Budweiser and Coke and all these household commercials that you watched all the time. It won American Music of the Year, and this piece launched my whole career. If our moderator can find it. He just found it.
This is it. Gotta make this one count. Never let up. Strong jump. Stretch for the water. Momentum. Concentrate.
It works for Greg Louganis, and it can for you at Mercantile Bank.
So, I knew that I had the capacity for somebody to assemble film, and with advertising, that was a 10-day turnaround, and you have to do it fast, and you have to hire the symphony, and they'd actually had a lady in New York, a really famous commercial scorer, had done a piece, and it was with jazz. It was like, and it was like, they called me, the ad agency president calls, he goes, "Can I show you something?" And I watch it. He says, "What do you think?" And I said, "I think that's awful." And he said, "Why?" And I said, "Because it's a total it's not what I'm seeing." And he said, "That's what I wanted to hear. What would you do?" And I said, "I would do symphony. And you're going to have to come up with the budget." And they did. And then that really launched, that was the Richards Group, and that really helped launch their agency. And then 4 years later, that was in '82, and that really, it launched my career. It launched my career, and 4 years later, everybody. So Tom Bodett in Motel 6, and that came about with the guy handing me a script, 4 scripts, and he played a cassette tape of Tom Bodett talking about where does a sock go why do you wind up with one sock at the end of the dryer cycle?
Right.
Where does a sock go? And he was like, "Have you ever wondered where the sock goes when you leave the washing machine or the dryer?" And I thought, and I read the script, and I went, "This is really cool. I mean, this is brilliant writing." And I said, "So what are you thinking for music?" And he pulls a cassette out. And it's like that. It's like rum dum 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 dum. It's just symphonic, bombastic. Mm-hmm. And I said, "David, no." And he said, "Why?" I said, "Why?" And he said, "Juxtaposition, man." And I went, "No." He said, "What do you hear?" And I said, "So I hear, literally, when I hear this guy's voice and I just literally see like a car out in Wex, Texas going, and he goes, "What do you mean?" And I went, "Well, I mean, like literally I would go, and he goes, "Oh, that's kind of clever. Okay, so we did it, and that really exploded, and that's the longest running commercial in the history of advertising today."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was '86 to now, so that's a pretty long time.
Yeah, and you get a little mailbox money on that.
Still do. That's right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then 10 years later, wound up doing "I Want My Baby Back," and all in between. I did hundreds and hundreds of commercials, and at all different genres. And I recognized that this was not, boy, I'm really badass, because I still couldn't read or write a note of music, and I had 2 incredible arrangers, but I was extremely specific in what I heard in my head, and would sit and play it out on keyboard and guitar or whatever. And they both had perfect pitch. Literally, it was like taking dictation. You know, I'd go French drum, da 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 da, and they go da 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 da, like, right. They're just writing it that fast or writing that quick, and so it never became a hindrance to me. And I loved music, and so I fully immersed myself in it, and did that for a number of years until the first album came out. Album came out, and I really was exhausted from commercials.
Yeah,
the stress was extremely high. I was doing all national commercials, and so the time when I started in '79, you could have 10 days to 2 weeks to compose a piece, and by the time I did my last commercial, I mean, I've done a few since 2010, but 10, 11 is when I really kind of tried to dial it down. It was not uncommon to get a call from Home Depot and say, "We need something tomorrow." And I'm sorry, but you can't. I mean, you're saying, really? So you want something to stick in people's ears? And I would say today, music and commercials is just atrocious.
Agreed.
Compared to what it was 30 years ago. Would you agree? I mean, it's it's fractional. I'll watch a Super Bowl and something. There was a spot that came out last year in Super Bowl, and it was like, man, that is just magic. It was just amazing. I forget what it was, but I told my wife, I'm like, God, that was everyday commonplace.
Yeah.
And so I had to pull this out, and I went to grab it out of my reel, and I haven't seen my reel in years, and I went, geez, I was really gifted. I mean, God just dumped stuff on me. I mean, it just did.
Yeah.
And you're so busy at the time, you don't think about it, but it's totally gift. It's not anything that I go, boy, I'm just brilliant. I had the capacity, and it's so weird that an aptitude guy would tell you, this would be a good fit for you.
Yeah.
But I had the capacity to look at motion in film and be able to interpret what kind of music would fit with that and bring that film to life. Because the way that whole process works is you just get, here's the film.
Right.
And in that particular case, there was almost no dialogue, so it's all music.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Do you think that had you not got yourself entrenched and wrapped into the jingles and the commercials and the TV stuff, that you would have found yourself in Nashville shopping songs, writing, and
I don't know. I've signed a publishing deal in Nashville. It's funny you ask. I signed a publishing deal in Nashville in 2000, 2001, 2002.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't last long.
No.
I mean, it's real. It just didn't. But that's pretty common. My boss, Chris Farron, it was with Windswept. It was a major publishing deal, and I was the first person in their new division. They I wish I could think who they signed. It was a great acoustic trio, just amazing acoustic trio. They signed like the week after me. Mm-hmm. You'd know it is. I just can't think of their name. It's crazy. They were like Alison Krauss.
Uh-huh.
They were kind of the next group after anybody rings a bell, if they know what I'm talking about. It was a female singer and a guy, mandolin player and a guitar player, and they were just monster pickers, just super shredders. And they said, we want Bonnie Raitt, Emmylou Harris, this is what we want. But then you get there, and I was told up front, they said, man, be careful because you're coming to Nashville, and they always say they want that, and then they don't. And literally not 60 days into the contract, they called and said, man, we just need for you to churn out a country hit. I was like, okay, well, that's not what I do, and it's not that I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I can morph and everything, but that was specifically what they were. We do not want that, and then it was, we want that because already they were getting heat from the head office in L.A. to generate income.
Oh wow!
And so it's a strange thing, and so I had a number of writing sessions, and I only had not even 8 writing sessions the whole time that I was signed, and my 8th writing session was with Delbert, and
oh, wow.
And it was up there, and it was far and away the worst song that
really?
Right, of all the songs that I wrote, and it was the only song that it's New York. We wrote New York City together. Yeah, it's
wow.
still to this day that. Been down on the dumps for a day or two, thinking maybe it was time that we should make a move. Late night skyline, that's when it hit me that I gotta get me some of that New York City. Yeah, and we wrote it that day, and I thought I was just being totally placated. He goes, yeah, man, that's great. That's good. Yeah, thanks. We're good. We're good. And I said, we're good. Yeah, that's fine. We're good. And I thought, well, that will never. And then they called me and said, we don't see renewing your contract. And I got a call a month later and said, hey, Delbert's cutting that. And I went,
oh, dang.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it all works out, though, doesn't it? You were doing what you were meant to do.
I think so.
I definitely think so, too. So with what are your plans for your future with your music? Are you wanting to tour? Are you going to be working on new songs, new albums?
I'm working on new songs. I've already cut 4.
Cool.
For a new album, and it's long overdue since my last one was 25 years ago. So
That's okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, it just happens that long. So I can fill in a blank here, and you know this. So I got quite ill, and that kind of derailed much of my plans,
Right.
and was diagnosed with what now people know is similar to COVID, with Lyme disease, and it really took
Threw you for a loop.
27 years ago. Yeah, and I still deal with it today. I mean, literally today. Yeah, it can be a life wrecker, but I have to say, I'm just being honest, you either let it wreck your life or else you find life around it. And for me, it is, can I say I'd like for it to be gone? I'd love for it to be gone. I'd love to wake up tomorrow and not have any symptoms. But it has, and I will get spiritual, and in the process of that, literally Jesus came to me, and so that changes things. I mean, it just
I'll
does.
say.
Yeah, I mean, I literally own JesusCameToMe.com. I've never done anything with it, but he just did. And so that changes your life. And so I do a number of different things outside of music.
Yeah.
I wear about 5 hats.
I believe it.
And 4 of them, 3 of them I can talk about. The other 2 I really can't. But
Yeah.
they, and so it's an interesting life, and it's a really full life. I have to say that.
Good.
So I'm 73, but I know I'm not, this is not, I know I have a real strong voice, and I can, and a lot of people my age can't. And I know that this is a gift, and it's only a gift.
Right.
And so the question is, what do I do with the gift? I do not know. I literally get up every day and say, what do you want me to do?
Well.
And doors open and doors close, and I take this a day at a time.
Maybe you should write one for him every now and then. That helps open the floodgates for more music and more song. And
so it's funny. So you bring this up, and I've had a number of people. I'll do shows, and somebody walk up and they go, "You should be a Christian artist," and I go, "And what do I say to that?"
You are a Christian artist.
I say
I am.
I am. And they go, "No, I mean, you should really be a Christian artist." And I go, "I really am." And I've heard it 24 times. And I'm okay with that. And I explain, I go, look, here's Christian music here, and we worship. And now we've carved out what's now officially worship music. And then the rest of us is satanic and disgusting. And I go, I'm floating here in the middle. And if you can see a show of mine, a lengthy show, and not understand that Christ is at the center of it, then I've unfortunately not communicated that right. But it just is. And so we want to pigeonhole and we want to correct. I wrote a song that I could not play tonight because I would cry, called "Jesus Carried Angels," about the flood. In Fredericksburg, I had a really dear friend lost his granddaughter. 2 dear friends, 2 of my best friends lost their granddaughter, Janie Hunt.
Yeah.
And I thought I could get through, and I rehearsed it yesterday, and I went, nope.
Nope.
No, I'm going to sit there and,
I understand.
I'm going to sit there and cry. So
I get it. I still can't sing the song that I wrote for my dad when he died.
You told me that.
Yeah, it's rough. I don't know if I'll ever be able to, but I get it. I totally do. And I think you just ought to keep on doing what you're doing and making everybody happy, because you make everybody happy with your music.
Thank you.
And
He's going to be back with us on the 25th of April next year in concert.
April 25th of 2026, we're going to have you back
There we go. I did.
for a concert
We did.
for Mr. Randy
I
Treadway.
forget. You're right. We did talk about it. Yeah. We did.
Yeah, and we're so blessed to know you and
Ditto.
call you a friend.
Yeah.
And we, like I said, you'll be coming back.
So are there people listening, or this will go out and be listened to? Is this portion?
It'll be on YouTube.
Okay, so I will say to the people that do see this on YouTube, This is one of the most extraordinary venues I've ever played in. I mean, top 5 certainly in terms of what this wonderful couple bring and their passion for other people and their endless generosity, asking nothing in return. They just simply love music, and this is so rare. And I wish that, and I would encourage anybody that is seeing this to come see this live, because it's worth a trip. I don't care if you live in Denmark. This is just a unique room. Just this room is so remarkably unique. And they continue to get better and better artists who hear about it. And I've certainly shared it with people and told people, you really ought to play there. You will not regret that a bit. It's a smaller room, but it's an amazing room. And just the way that they've decorated.
One of the big reasons that Michael's coming too.
Yeah,
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. Well, I'm
Thank
glad
you
he
for that.
is. Oh, yeah.
All right, everybody. It's been great having you here tonight. It's been great, everybody here in the audience. And thank you for listening. Keep tuning in. You are in the music room.
Good night.